Hello, Internet. Welcome to another issue of the Ghostlight Social, the show where we bring creative people into your living room of an evening during this lockdown period, and possibly after, because we're quite enjoying this. It's going to be a cracker tonight, and as always, I'm going to start off by introducing Mr. Lee Toombs.
Hello.
Hang on, I've just given away who one of the guests is.
Oh, well, I'm sure our fan won't mind.
Yeah, and I've switched our cameras around again.
Great.
There we go.
Great.
It's not been a mad panic for the last 2 minutes because all my shit just went down. So
Let's pretend that none of that happened. How are you, Mike?
I'm quite calm.
Why are you calm?
No, I'm just giving away a false sense of calmness. No, I'm genuinely, I'm all right. I'm a little bit pissed off, if I'm honest.
Right.
Cause, and I don't want to get really geeky about this, but I'm a huge fan of the video game Fallout, the Fallout series. Obsessed with Fallout 4 to the point that I named my daughter after one of the characters. Piper, which is a great name. And there was a sequel to it called Fallout 76, which was a bit shit. And yesterday they released basically a rebuild of the entire game from scratch. And I went to download it yesterday afternoon, so it was ready for last night. Once Piper had gone to bed, I thought I'm going to have an hour cracking on with this, and it just hadn't downloaded. Joe Gill was laughing his tits off on Twitter at me. And then today I thought there's a couple of hours, Piper's asleep, I'm going to crack on, and it just kept crashing. Like everybody's trying to play it, so it just kept crashing it. So I'm a bit pissed off that I've not played it yet.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that, but you are a 42-year-old, 3-year-old man.
41.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
You're only 41?
Yeah.
Am I 3 years older than you?
Yeah.
You had a long paper round, didn't you?
I played piano in a marching band.
Right, okay. Well, not only that, I noticed you've been pissing a few people off on Twitter as well.
Have I? Oh, the 5G people.
The 5G people, yeah.
Yeah,
she
you
was
fucking idiots.
She wasn't
Nothing
happy
to do
with
with
you.
it.
She wasn't happy with you, that woman, was she?
I'm not sure that was a woman. It was possibly a group of men in a Russian Twitter, thing.
Okay.
But
Right.
I went back and somebody had tweeted basically where 5G sits on the spectrum, basically of the frequency spectrum, and it is less harmful than your microwave. And so I said,
my microwave, particularly mine. Mine's quite old.
Yeah.
It probably.
I think generally microwaves.
Okay,
so I went and tweeted everybody who'd liked one of their tweets or anything like that. I went back and sent him this thing, and this one guy came back and went, "Oh yeah, that makes sense now." And I was like, "Yeah, exactly." And I think I've converted somebody back, so I'm quite happy.
Okay, good. What are you doing your bit?
Yeah, I'm trying my best. And then somebody else on Facebook who I knew was just posted a video of giving some shit to some workmen who were erecting it, and I was like, "Oh dear." I actually know one of these people in real life. Anyway.
Well, it's 100 mile an hour in your house, isn't it?
Oh, don't feel
Well,
like
we, me and Rachel have upset the local community today.
Again.
Well, actually, it was last week because we live in a village, and there's a Facebook group for the village, and basically everybody just gets on there and moans about stuff. And at the cricket club, there is a bottle recycling bank.
Oh yeah, I know it.
And we, okay, yeah. You know it. So we'd gone down there with a bag, just a small bag of bottles, because we have an occasional drink on an evening, and it was full. So there was nothing. There was a box by the side of it with some bottles in, and I thought, oh, well, they'll be coming to collect it. So I put the bag on top of the box. Anyway,
makes sense.
It's all kicked off because apparently everyone's been leaving bags around it. And so people have been going, this is disgusting. Somebody posted, it's now been emptied, and we're having to go down and clean everybody's bottles up and put them into the bottle recycling.
What else you gonna do, Mavis? Come on.
I know, exactly. What else have you got to do? Yeah. So anyway,
fair enough. A bit of extra graft or whatever. But do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, get over it.
Yeah, but
build a bridge. Get over it.
We'd left it. We'd walked away from it. But then Rachel she came home after we'd taken the dog for a walk, and she had to get back involved. So it was like, what are you doing? Why are you getting back involved in it? Just leave it.
Leave it.
Anyway, so let me go on.
I was going to say, just for anybody watching, Twitter handles on screen are the wrong way around. I'm not Lee Toombs. He's not Mike Makes Films.
Okay,
Just,
yeah, that's
just in case there's any new people who don't know who we are.
Okay, great. All right then. Let me. Have you got anything before we crack on? Have you got anything to share?
Yeah, I have. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. Oh, blimey! Anything could happen. Come on.
Just bear with me a second, internet.
Well, we're bearing with. Yeah. Okay, we're all on there. Brilliant.
Well, that didn't work.
What are you doing? Oh, dear God.
Where's that gone now?
So while you've got that on, Mike, we might as well introduce our guests because they're there. So while you're doing that, I will introduce the lovely Rebecca Ryan. Hello, Rebecca. Lovely to see you. Hello. Nice to see you. And Mr. Matt Ganley. How we doing?
How you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Ah, very good, very good. I'm hoping you're going to play a guitar for us later.
Depends how drunk I get, mate, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. Have you got enough alcohol in front of you?
Well, I do have an eclectic mix of sort of hoppy, fruity numbers. So we'll see how the night progresses.
Okay, excellent. Mike?
Yeah?
Still sharing your screen?
Yeah, the thing what allows you to turn the screen sharing off?
Yeah.
That's disappeared. Oh no, what's this here? What's this?
Oh, that's it. That's it there. That's it. Stop sharing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right. I'll tell you what then. Let's pretend that didn't happen as well. Just go to me and I'll share my screen.
Yeah, the problem is that the broadcast software isn't giving me an option to show the shared screen.
Oh, is it not just showing an option to share me? Just put me on.
All right, I'll just put Lee Solo.
There we go. Look at that.
This is all over the place.
You've made a mess of it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Look, let me whiz through this and then we can crack on. Am I on at all? A little bit of it. Hello, Michael.
Hello. Yeah, right. The share screen suddenly appeared, so it's now back to normal.
We're in. Excellent. Right,
Jesus, how hard is this?
Really hard. A couple of things because people are giving stuff away for free. Although I'm not going to dwell on this because we've done loads of stuff. We did loads of stuff on Monday. But Wise Children, which was filmed at York Theatre Royal, directed by Emma Rice. The BBC are streaming that at the moment on the iPlayer, and it caught my eye. I've not seen it before, but it caught my eye because it says, where is it? Expect showgirls and Shakespeare, sex and scandal, mischief and mistaken identity. What more do you need than all that? So there's that. Wise Children. Also, Hampstead Theatre, Drawing the Line, which is another great play. Not a laugh a minute, but so have a few drinks while you're doing that. But that is also on there. And there was something. Oh yeah, there was this. Roland Productions have put this out on Facebook. I know lots of people are writing stuff at the moment, etc., etc. And Kay Mellor has done a little video about how she got started and some tips of advice and stuff for writing. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free, which means you do not have to pay for advice. Stop paying people to give you advice. You don't need to do it. Just look for it. Okay, that's me, Mike. Anything else?
I was going to show, because I mentioned Flern a while ago, PHLEAR, and I was going to show their webpage with their COVID-19 support stuff, which has got free software, including that Adobe hack that we talked about, where you go to cancel your subscription, and as a little incentive, they'll give you 2 months free. It seems to be working about 50% of the time, so me and Lee have used up like 100% of it. So good luck with that. There's stuff on there about obtaining grants. There's avenues of different places where you could sell. I mean, they're a photography-based website business who, even if you're not based in the US and can't access some of these grants, have a look at their YouTube channel. It is absolutely ram-packed with the best information about photography and Photoshop out there. They are the number one resource for if you want to learn this and you don't want to go to a college to learn it. Just sit and watch Aaron Nace, who's one of the nicest guys on the internet, teach you Photoshop. It's amazing. So just go look at that. PHLEARN for learn.
What we could do, if you and I actually spoke before we threw this thing together, you could send me the link. We'll do that on Monday.
I know. We
anyway,
started off doing that, and then we've just given up and we'll just wing it.
Yeah, we just can't be asked. Let's crack on. Right. Shall we crack on?
Let's bring everybody back up. There we go.
Brilliant. Everybody's back up now. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I think Matt might have frozen, so we'll. He's do you think he's doing that? He's doing that thing where you just keep really still and pretend that you're frozen, or do you think he's actually frozen? I think he's actually frozen.
Yeah.
He's gone.
I think he's actually gone.
Exactly, no.
He's gone.
Really doesn't like Flern.
He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. I'm quite happy to chat to you all night, though, Rebecca. Quite frankly.
Oh, why not? Absolutely.
Exactly why not. How are you? How are things?
I'm all right. Yeah, it's a bit of a scary time.
It is a scary time.
What can you do? Yeah, I mean, I finished Casualty last year, which was the last job that I was.
Was it last year? Was it last year? Was it?
Yeah, it was last year. So it's just been a bit of a funny year, really. Sort of just trying to get, how. Oh, he's back. I hear him anyway.
we can hear him. We can
I'm
hear
so
him.
sorry. I've really just crashed. I bet you're in the middle of telling us something amazing. I'm so sorry, Rebecca. Right?
Rebecca was just telling us about her year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit stressful, really, because we've been really getting much, a few bits here and there, but nothing really major. So yeah, it's kind of.
How long were you in Casualty?
I was in for about 2.5 years.
Oh, blimey! Okay.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, yeah, it does, doesn't it? I was only actually meant to be in for 6 months. I was only going in for a character only for 6 months, and then was lucky enough to be asked to come back for a year and then another year after that. So I mean, I can't complain, seeing as I was only supposed to be there for 6 months and I got 2.5 years out of it.
So look, I don't watch Casualty. Do you watch Casualty, Mike?
It's one of those shows where I am aware of it. I know it. I have watched it, but I haven't watched it in the last couple of years. Mainly since Charlie left, didn't he? And that wasn't the reason why I stopped watching, but
it was.
He's the only character I recognised.
So you don't watch it? Is the answer?
He's still there, by the way.
Is he? I thought he'd gone.
Yes.
No, he's still there. So you could watch it.
That's how much I watch Casualty.
You can go back to it. There you go.
I'm so glad my background's pink and you can't see how much I'm blushing at that really rubbish bit of information.
So because I don't watch it, did they kill you off? Did you die?
No.
Spoilers.
No, they didn't kill me off. They didn't kill me off. I went to Thailand.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I went to Thailand after I had a little dalliance with a doctor that was there called Rash, and he went travelling to Thailand. So I went over to Thailand to see him, but then in the next few episodes he came back and I'm still in Thailand, so
And is that so the story is you're still in Thailand?
Yeah.
What are you doing in Thailand on your own?
Yeah, that's it. So I went to follow him there, he came back
and this has been like a year since you've left, so presumably you're still there. Are you? Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah, I'm living life in Thailand at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not being trafficked. That wouldn't be. Would it?
No, that wouldn't be great.
No. Thanks for bringing that up, Lee.
It'd be a hell of a storyline for Casualty, though, wouldn't it?
It would. That would be immense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So there is an option to go back at some point if necessary, if needed.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. I would definitely love to go back. Yeah, it was a great job.
Fantastic. We might come back to that in a minute. Matt, you've joined us again. So I know. So how are you? How are things? What's happening?
I'm really well, thanks, mate. I'm pretty not much 90% sure that without obviously getting the official test that I had coronavirus.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So this was after. This was the week out. It started the week after the first week because we did 1 week of rehearsals for Jungle Book, and then on the Monday I had literally all the symptoms came flooding in: breathlessness, sweat, temperature, all that stuff. I lost my taste, lost my smell. I was getting short of breath, and and it's lasted about 3.5 weeks, and it's so I've just sort of been getting on with things with that in the background, which has been all right because I like to think I'm relatively fit and healthy, so I've been able to handle it okay. It turns out, in hindsight, that I was in contact with someone the previous week who had it.
Personally?
Personally.
Yeah.
So, in that respect, I was just glad that I was able to stay at home and just chill and just take it easy. So it's been a bit of a weird, definitely been a weird month.
Wow. Oh well, if you have had it, I'm certainly glad that you're through it and we're talking now. That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
But it must be nice to be at home because these days you spend your nights sleeping rough on the moors and stuff, don't you? I mean, that's your back these days, isn't it?
You know, mate. Honestly, I'm a bit addicted. I'm a bit addicted to it. I've got quite a compulsive personality anyway, and so I latch onto things. At the moment, it's Scrabble. It's online Scrabble. I can't stop playing Scrabble. Right.
I saw you up there.
Oh, you're on it, Rebecca. We need a game.
I'm not playing either.
I am very, very, very good.
I'm not so good.
I'll tell you who is very good at it. I'll tell you who is very good. My dad. My dad plays it incessantly on his iPad.
No, I'm not the best at it. No.
Oh,
I'll try though. So.
Yeah, it's cool. That's how I've been. Honest to God, I think I might need help to get off it actually a bit. But but yeah, with the camping stuff, with the wild camping, it's oh man, it's honest to God. When I first did it, I just got the bug instantly, and so I imagine that in a couple of months' time, I'll really start to miss it. I'm supposed to be doing the coast to coast walk. In a couple of weeks, but obviously that's not happening now. So I'm going to wait till September, hopefully, if I can do it in September to do that.
Because you're raising money doing that, aren't you? What are you raising money for?
Raising money for the Booth Centre, which is a homeless charity in Manchester. Amazing homeless charity in Manchester.
Yeah, great. And all that stuff is on your Twitter, presumably.
Yeah, I'll probably just Yes, you've reminded me. I'll pin it to my profile, the fundraising page. But I'm about 60% of the way there.
Yeah, we'll stick it in the description as well.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Nice one.
Lee. Yes, of course I will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. But pin it to your profile, and then I'll stick it in the comments. Absolutely. Good. Well, we keep us posted. But I see your Twitter anyway, so I see you out and about. Let's jump into a couple of questions. The first one is our isolation playlist. So I'll come to you first, Rebecca. What have you got for us? A song for our playlist?
Well, I am obsessed. You probably know this from our Beryl tour. Not only am I obsessed with Westlife, obviously, it goes without saying, anything Westlife. But I am a huge country music fan. And I'm gutted actually because they were supposed to go to country this year in the O2 Arena with like amazing artists. So I'm gutted.
Did you get tickets or did they just
I got tickets and everything, but they've rescheduled now for next year, so gutted. But I've actually been listening to a lot of Garth Brooks at the moment. Garth Brooks and Chicks. Also going old school now. So just like anything country really at the moment. Do you, need, do you want one song in particular?
Yeah, well, yes, please.
Okay, let's go for Standing Outside the Fire by Garth Brooks.
Standing Outside the Fire. I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, it's a cracker.
Excellent. That will go straight on. I'll be listening to that tomorrow. Excellent. Thank you. So why that song in particular? Why that one in particular?
It's just got, it's a good sort of beat. It makes me feel happy.
It's a happy song.
Good vibes.
Toe tapper.
A toe tapper. Okay. What was it? Just while we're on songs, what was the? So I was talking at the end of the episode on Monday about your TikTok. What was? Have you seen that TikTok that she's done, Matt?
I've not, mate.
Where she's lip syncing.
Oh man, show me, send it me.
I'll send it to you. We can't play it for some reason. Anyway, what song is that?
So I don't know what actual song it is. I'm new to TikTok. That was the first TikTok I've ever done, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And Dan, if you know Dan, he doesn't like anything like that. And you put the camera near him, and he's like, "Go away! I don't put me near the camera." So I thought I had to do it sneakily. So I was sat next to him on the sofa, and he was just sat there. And there's a song. So I still don't really know how TikTok works, but there's like loads of sounds that you can use, and you can like lip sync, and so you can press use this sound. And I saw a few people doing it, and it was a really catchy sound, and it really made me laugh. So I thought, I'm going to do it to Dan. So I sat next to him on the sofa, and I just put the camera to where he could see him. And the song just goes, "Piss me off, fucking jerk, get on my nerves." And then as soon as I saw his face, because I could see it through the camera, and he started laughing. He didn't know what was going on, and then that made me laugh, and then we were gone.
Brilliant. Honestly, watch it forever. It's something about it. I'm not going to say. Yeah. Anyway.
With the second hand is a long that's through you.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. It's very, very good. Oh, Matt, what have we got? What have you got for us? I'm expecting something supreme.
Paul Simon.
Oh, well,
50 Ways to Leave Your Lover.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. All right. Why?
So me and my family on WhatsApp are doing a 30-day music challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a Paul Simon novice. I know I'm familiar with Graceland, but all of his other stuff, I'm brand new to. So my mum posted for the day that it was a song that you like with a number in it. That's the one that she shared. And since she shared it, all day I've been listening to it today. And I kind of think, it resonates with the isolation theme, with your partner. You might want to listen when we can go outdoors. You might want to listen to it and heed the advice. So, a bit grim. Can I just say?
Yeah.
I have to say this: if anyone listens to that song, don't listen to the advice in the song now, because it's like, get out the back door, get on the bus, Russ. Don't stay at home. Save lives.
In fact, it sort of goes hand in hand with. It was Tom Lawkins' choice, wasn't it? Tom Lawkins' choice was, the tequila song.
No, Pina Colada.
Pina Colada, not tequila. Pina Colada.
Yeah.
How does it go, Mike? I've forgotten how it goes now.
Pina Colada. I don't know.
Beautiful.
If you like pina colada,
that's
and getting caught in the rain. That one.
I preferred my version.
Did it? Well, that is actually about. It's very similar, because when you listen to it, because he was going, listen to the lyrics, because I was obviously just laughing, and he was going, no, listen to the lyrics. It's got a lovely story, and that is about two people who've grown apart, and this guy reads this ad in the newspaper, like a Lonely Hearts. And he replies to it, and then he ends up going to meet the woman, and it's his wife. And they sort of go, I didn't realise that you liked pina colada. Get it? And then they get back together, and everything's lovely and fine. So it's sort of on a similar kind of... No, it's not. It's not at all, is it?
No, I get it. I realised that when we're talking about the 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, then I was nodding quite heavily, and I was like, I had to stop myself because I thought if my wife watches this, she'll be like, "You nodded quite a lot."
It is you know what though? It is just a great song. It is just a great song. Like the in terms of like production, songwriting, everything, it's just an amazing tune.
Is it a Graceland song that?
No, it's not. It's earlier than Graceland. I think it was 1975.
I think it was his first solo. It's off his first solo record, I think. I don't know what it's called, but I know it is post and Garfunkel, but quite early.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Yes, them two are both being accepted into the.
Have.
Are you putting another one in?
Well, I'll tell you this. I woke up this morning with the particular song in my head. And I posted it on Twitter, and a couple of people have said, you need to put this in your isolation playlist.
What song is it?
It was the theme song to Prisoner Cell Block H.
Oh, yeah, I know. I read that. Well, it might go... I'm going to put a little star next to it, because I do have a soft spot for that song, and it does resonate. It brings back certain memories.
It does. It's
the Saturday night.
I always remember... When I was like teens and 20s and in a punk band and all that kind of stuff, one of the bands we used to gig with a lot used to cover it. Is this amazing kind of grungy punk version of it? And so,
shouty way? No,
like a really lovely kind of grungy ballad, done by like these really sweaty, smelly teenagers in a shitty dive bar in Wakefield. But it was always like the best bit of the night. Okay. Everybody singing along, all these like Mohicans and that just. It was great.
It sounds it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Okay, well, let's put them three on then. Let's do it. I don't care. Matt, let's stay with you. Next question. What is the most well, you've had the coronavirus, but apart from that, what's the most coronavirus thing you've done?
Damn, my answer was have coronavirus.
Okay. I think you could probably have that.
But what's the most... Okay. Let me have a think about this. The most coronavirus thing I've done is, I think everyone at the moment is accepting that drinking is all right. Like, we're all sort of in a silent agreement that this is what's expected, right? However, you get into like a sort of, I'm nearly 37 now, so I can't be doing this all the time. And so I've sort of developed this routine of where, in order to buy a bargaining chip for a glass of this every night, I have to do some exercise in the day. So I'll either go for a run or lift some weights in the garden, just so I can excuse a few beers.
I think that's admirable and fair enough. I'm 44, and I think it's perfectly acceptable. In fact, I'll just open another one. Chin Chin. You are right though. It's a funny old thing, and it does worry me that the country, we're going to end up being a load of alcoholics, and all our healths are going to suffer. Apart from Mike, and I imagine Rebecca. Rebecca's not. She's not.
I'm not. I've drank once in the over 3 weeks that I've been.
It's impressive.
Can I just say, Rebecca? I have a flashback to where did we do the show? For those who don't know, we did Beryl, which was a tour.
Do you want me to just start naming them all? I mean, you're going to have to narrow it down a little bit. We did them in a lot.
It was quite a few.
But the point of what I was saying was that, to be fair to Rebecca, like, we were all sort of drinking, but Rebecca was like, you were out with us, like, you were out with the bet. You were probably the last out, to be fair. So here's to you.
And also, I very distinctly remember being in Chesterfield, where we went into that bar, and then the manager came over and gave us a load of, was it drinks tokens or just free drinks? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was tokens. I'm sure, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then sort of demanded that we did some pictures for his social media. And when I say we, me and Matt were just sort of hanging at the back.
really shittily cropped out on his Facebook page.
Exactly.
Yeah, he photoshopped hair onto us.
Oh, fair enough.
Hey, just about the drinking, 2.5 years I've not had a drink, and I really, really want one. I'm genuinely like, fuck it, I'm gonna have a drink.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can I ask why? Was it problematic? Do you mind me asking, or was it just you didn't?
I certainly weren't alcoholic. I weren't anything like along those kind of things. I found that I didn't enjoy it. At the time, I'd have a few kind of nights a year when I'd go out and just absolutely smash it, and it was just, I was like, I really like those nights out, but I really hate the person I become when I'm really shit faced, because I'm just an oversharing kind of enthusiastic person, which
middle-aged man.
Yeah, which just feels a little bit creepy when you're 40. Do you know what I mean? And I would just like, I just don't enjoy it, so I'm going to knock it on the head and I'll see how long I can go without having a drink. And so far it's been 2.5 years, but like it's getting
well done, man. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's really admirable.
Was it also, Mike? Was it something to do? Because obviously you've got the lovely Piper now. Was it something to do with sort of trying to get pregnant and all the rest of it as well, and that stuff?
That kind of went hand in hand with it, because me and my wife had been trying to conceive for about 10 years, and then 3 years ago, which is probably 7 years too late, we started IVF, and we ended up going abroad. And one of the things which I did when we were doing our successful cycle is I gave everything up. So I gave up sugar, I gave up caffeine, gave up nicotine, gave up alcohol, and just went absolutely teetotal to give the little blighters a chance. And it was successful. I don't put it down completely to that. I think the doctors we had in Spain were amazing, and they still are doing amazing stuff at the moment in Spain with Institute Bernabeu. Go have a look at those.
Probably helped though. Probably helped.
I mean, I had. I don't want to bore you with all this, but you're meant to have something like 15 million per milliliter, and I had 2 million, and they were all thick as fuck. Like they do this motility test where they stick them on a ramp and get them to swim up this ramp. Mine all stayed at the bottom, swam in circles. Do you know what I mean? It's
armbands.
Oh yeah, and they were just idiots.
Well, I mean, not to get into it too much, but we had this conversation, didn't we, years and years ago? And because when we were trying, we didn't think we could have kids, and now I've got 2 of the little bastards. But I don't mean that. Of course, I don't mean that. But we did the same thing. Mine just swim round in circles. They were just going like that. See ya, whatever. Yeah, I think it happens, doesn't it?
Remind me. There is like I'll build it up far too much now, so I don't tell it. But I'll tell it on a future show. But there's quite an amusing little thing about my time in Spain. It's quite an amusing little anecdote. Which when we run out of guests and people just stop saying yes to coming on.
Well, they'll definitely, after you've told that story, because I know the story you're talking about, they'll definitely stop. Anyway, happy days.
Yeah.
Let's hope that everybody else is their fertility is fine. Next question.
The IVF community.
Big up the IVF community.
On Instagram,
absolutely.
you know you are.
Most Rebecca, most coronavirus thing.
Well, as we touched on before, I'm getting quite into TikTok now. I'd never really. I mean, I'd heard bits of it, but I never really know what it does. And then I kept seeing loads of videos, and like as the weeks went on, I was like, oh, there's quite a few funny videos on there, and I got sucked in.
Yeah.
I did it. I bit the bullet, and I thought, right, I'm going to see what all this is about, because so many people kept posting funny videos. I thought, right, I'm going to see what this is about. And God, the problem is, you could spend hours on there. Like, it's ridiculous.
My 10-year-old does spend hours on there.
Yeah, and it's so easily done. You just you look at the clock and you've been on it for about 5 hours, and you're just like, what? You think, what am I doing? And then you think, oh.
So have you only made that one video? Or have you made a few now?
No, I've made a few. None of them are as good. I don't think I think I peaked too soon with that one. To be fair, I think I peaked way too soon with that. But I keep having loads of really good ideas about what I'm gonna do, like elaborate TikToks that I'm gonna do, but I've not quite got round to filming them yet.
What? Because of how busy you are? Because of
just so busy. Yeah. I'm rereading the Harry Potter books at the minute, so they're taking quite a lot of my time up. I forgot how good they were.
That's good. Well, that's admirable as well, because I haven't read a thing. I need to start reading, so that's very good. Very good indeed. All right, I'll go with TikTok for the coronavirus thing. Okay, let's stay with you, Rebecca. How many toilet rolls have you got in the house?
Well, not that many, because
how many? Whoa! How many's not that many?
We've got one pack.
A pack? How big's the pack? So
what? Say 9 in the pack?
Okay, so you've still got at least 10.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we know. So we didn't.
There's only 2 of you.
We didn't do the whole go out and bulk buy loads of toilet roll because I didn't really see the point. I didn't really get that whole thing. But then when we were running out, we were like, oh crap, there's some toilet paper there. So we've kind of just been getting it as we go along, but we've been all right. We've been managing.
Okay, good. Well, I'm pleased you've been managing. It's interesting that when I said how many toilet rolls, you said, "Oh, we've only got 1 pack," which suggests to me that there has been a point where you've had more.
But it's a 48 pack.
Oh no, we've never had more than one. More than one.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm not about that lively. Come on.
Okay. Mr. Ganley, how many have you got?
8.
8.
Just had to recount, because we bought a pack recently.
9 pack.
We've got 2 spare, a 6 pack, and then we've got 2 spare. So 8. I think that's all right, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's all right.
I don't know. Do you know what
Did I pass?
I don't know. I'm going to ask Mike again in a minute because he had a significant amount of toilet rolls last time I spoke to him, about it. But we've never. I think most we've ever had was probably 6 or 7. But we spoke to somebody who had, how many did Dominic have? 55. He had 55 toilet rolls.
What?
Outright Corona champion.
Yeah. Nobody's come close to that.
No.
Mike, how many have you got left?
Let me think. So it was 18, wasn't it, that I had? which, just to kind of put it in context, is Aldi do like a big, massive 16-pack, don't they? And we just buy one of them like every other week, and we have done for years, so we've always had like 1 million. Because there's no worse, is there, than just going, shit.
Well, you don't want to wipe your ass with a sock, do you?
No.
You don't want to come to that now.
Is that what you do when you're wild camping? Is that how that works?
I just do it with my hand and then wash my hand in rainwater. No, I'm joking. Yeah, wild camping. That's a totally different story altogether because there's rules and regulations about where you've got to dig a hole and everything.
Bury it. Yeah. Which is what Mike does.
That shit.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So how many have you got left, Mike?
I think I've got about 17, 18, something like that still, because we've been to Aldi since.
Because you haven't been to the toilet?
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm just trying to think. I think we've been since, so I might even have more than 18 now. I might be like 22, 23, something.
Okay. Rebecca, how many monologues have you watched since lockdown?
How many None.
None at all.
Yeah, I think this question needs to drop out because everybody the last few weeks has gone, I ain't watched any.
How many have you written?
None.
Matt, how many monologues have you watched?
0, mate.
0. Have you written any?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So who is it that's writing and doing all these monologues then? Because there's hundreds of them on social media.
Is there?
Yeah. Hundreds.
I don't know, mate. Probably.
Not us.
Don't know.
Okay. I think you're right, Mike. That question has to drop off.
Two people have said this in the last week, which kind of resonated with me a little bit.
Which makes it absolute gospel truth to Donald Trump. So two people will do for me. Go for it.
So Mark Bernardin, who is an American TV show writer, currently writing the second series of Picard, who is a great guy. He does a podcast with Kevin Smith, and he's probably one of the best people to ever listen to about story. Really clever dude. And the second,
how's he writing the second series of Picard?
Via Zoom.
Isn't he dead?
No, he was. Did you watch all of Picard?
No, I'm not. I've got to about episode 8. It's a bit boring.
Oh, it's like the best Trek. Anyway, that's just Trek nerd me coming out. Anyway,
go on.
Yeah, so they're writing that, and he's a really clever dude. And the other person was Ellie Taylor, who I've mentioned before on this, who is just brilliant. I'm off to go see her in September.
A comedian.
Very funny. Also, like, her Instagram is just brilliant. For anybody who's got toddlers, it's just brilliant. So both of these people have said in the last week that this is a global crisis, not a writer's retreat.
Okay, interesting.
And I'm like, yeah, and because there's loads of people who just feel under pressure that they've now got this time off and are now thinking, I need to be productive. And I think this is where a lot of the monologues come from. And it's not at all. And it's so true that this isn't a writer's retreat. This is the human race trying to survive something which is killing a lot of people.
Miller time.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Not wanting to bring the tone down from the, but that kind of resonated. But it also resonated with me quite well, considering I've launched, along with you, Lee, a YouTube chat show, and I've written a feature script.
No, to be fair,
by the time that came out, I was like, well, I've done my productivity. So
yeah, most of that was written beforehand. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Matt, did you have some feelings over what he just said? Because I saw you sort of reacting.
No, I was going to say about there's a lot of people making stuff, online stuff, obviously, because if you're a creative person and you need to create stuff, then that's what you're going to spend your time doing if you can't leave the house. So there's a lot. I feel like online at the moment is incredibly saturated with just everyone doing their thing to varying degrees of reception and whatnot. But my issue with the culture of this is the fact that as creatives, we create stuff and kind of crave for that response and that feedback, but in the same breath we're kind of not willing to give the same care and attention to other people's work, and so what can end up happening, especially if you're producing work independently, and I've caught myself doing it many a time over the past month, is I just sort of see other people doing stuff and I don't even bother watching it, but I'm creating stuff and have a weight of expectation that people are going to watch it for one thing. But if I'm not giving the same, if I'm not giving the same energy to other people who are spending the time to create stuff, then why should I expect to get the same?
I think that, I think that's a really good point. And there was an article that I read that Luke Dixon, I don't know whether you know Luke, he put me on to, and it was somebody writing in New York, and they were saying sort of a similar thing about when you're creating this stuff. First of all, who's it for? Is it really for anybody, or is it for yourself? And if it's for yourself, that's fine, that's okay. But if that's the case, exactly what you've just said. Are you giving? What are you giving in return? Are you supporting other people? But then it's sort of, when we think about certainly and it goes on to say about the theatrical world, and sort of you go into a theatre and you make a piece of work and then you share it with an audience, and you do it because you're going to share it with an audience, because people are going to sit there and they're either going to enjoy it or not, whatever. But when you do it online, it's not quite the same thing. Who is that audience? And it probably ends up being other creatives. And in which case, it is not the same thing as what we do when we get into a rehearsal room. And what do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
an interesting article about that.
Yeah, it's a totally different audience, isn't it? When you show into fellow creatives than just Joe Public. So completely different, and they're looking for different stuff, so the reception isn't going to be the same. Have I just repeated what you've just said?
Probably.
I suppose as well, Lee, that to sort of elaborate on the point of who are you doing it for, but also like why are you doing it? Like, I don't think enough people ask that question of themselves. Why are you producing? Yeah. Why are you doing what you're doing and putting it out there? I know that I love positive attention about something creative I've done. I love to get comments going. I love that, Matt. That was funny. That was this. That was that. And sometimes if I don't get that, then it kind of, I go, oh, hang on a minute. Why should I expect anyone to give me the time of day? Like, what I'm doing here is something creative, and surely it shouldn't really matter what anyone says about it, because I like to think I'm doing what just comes naturally to me anyway. So I don't know.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I think the other thing is that I think, and I can only speak from my perspective. I smacked my mic then. Was there a really loud noise?
No.
Oh, you just reacted, Mike. Sorry. I can only talk from my own perspective, but I know that the majority of times when I create something, I create it in collaboration with a load of other people. So, whether that be fellow actors or a director or, an MD or whoever it might be, or a producer or a crew, or, how many people are on set in Casualty when you do a scene, all those people are important. You don't do it by yourself. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that I don't think there's any value in doing that. I'm sure there is. But I just know from my perspective, that's why I struggle with the monologue stuff, because it's sort of like me in isolation doing something, which actually I would, if I do that, and somebody's asked me to do it, so I might do it actually. But if I do that, I wouldn't normally put something out into the public sphere that hadn't been directed, produced. Do you know? Because Martin Gibbons, we had Martin on, and he was saying that he directed a play that he was also in, and he said he will never do that again because he knows that he needs an outside eye. You need somebody else there, that creative team around it. So it's a funny old thing when you just do something and then sort of put it out.
I think there's stages to it as well, like because with what I do personally at the moment, what I've been doing has been purely what I want to do. But as soon as you sort of put that in the public sphere, it shifts and it becomes about, well, what am I going to get back from this? Like, what your relationship to the work kind of changes by default of the fact you've uploaded it to all these, to Twitter and Facebook and Insta or whatever it might be, YouTube, and
I think then it becomes less about the work and more about the comments and the likes and the
absolutely. And so
it ends up not being about what you originally intended it to be. It's now about how many likes you get, how many comments you get, how many positive comments you get, how many negative comments you get, and it's all surrounded by that instead of the actual piece itself.
And if you give that importance, that feedback and that response too much importance, your relationship to the work ends up changing and not necessarily for the better. So I don't know. Be happy with just producing what you want to produce, and anything else that comes of it, it's sort of out of your hands anyway. I love that quote that someone once said, which is, "Someone else's opinion of me is none of my business." Yes,
that's such an important thing. I learned that far too late in life. That other people's opinion of me is none of my business. It's nothing to do. It's a few years ago had what some might describe as a bit of a breakdown, and when I learned that was the key to my kind of recovery bit, was that. Absolutely. Sorry, I got really excited over that little bit there. Because I say that to everybody. If anybody's having a shit down, like, it doesn't matter, because that opinion is nothing to do with you. You just carry on doing what you're doing, and you know, as long as you're happy doing it, fine. But everything beyond you means nothing.
It's funny because I mean, you remember probably from touring. I hate curtain calls. I hate them. And it's not because I don't want people to like what I do. I obviously do. But it's sort of, I get this dread feeling of embarrassment. And not because I'm embarrassed of the work, but I'm just embarrassed of, I'm not here. I'm not doing this. For you to sort of, applaud me and go, oh, aren't you wonderful? That's really nice when that happens. Obviously, it's really nice. But God, I've done a two. I did one of the JB shorts with Rosanna, who's Rosina. Sorry, Rosina. With Rosina, who's coming on, and there was one review of it, and there was only me and her. And I was never mentioned. Just mentioned her. And he was like, you know what I mean? And if I felt a slightly different way about it, that could crush me. But I know I wouldn't go on stage. I wouldn't do something if I didn't think I was giving it my all. So I'm just the kind of person who I don't need people. It's nice when it happens, but I don't need people to tell me, because I know I'm just sharing work. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That I have no control over that. I think that's our little control. Yeah. Blimey, that got a bit heavy for a minute, didn't it? I'm blaming you, Mike.
It's good though. I like it.
Yeah, but come on, bloody hell.
I was thinking, you know what, quite honestly, I was thinking about 5 o'clock. I was like, I really hope we get into like a decent conversation tonight. Not that any of the others haven't been really fun conversations. I really enjoyed listening to Monday while I was scrambling about trying to get us back online. But I don't just want to plod through the questions all the time. I like this. This is the bit which is exciting, isn't it? For me.
Plod through the questions. Are you suggesting I plod through the questions?
No, but
what are you saying, Mike?
It's one of those, isn't it, where it's fine.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's plod through a couple more questions, shall we? We've sort of already answered this, so I'll come to you first, Rebecca. But in the last 48 hours, how many units of alcohol?
0.
0.
I had the only time I've drank was I did a Zoom party with my friends, and we had a little drink there. But other than that, I mean, I don't feel like I ever need a drink to have a good time. Like if I ever go out with my friends or out anywhere, I would be the first one on the dance floor. Anyway, I don't feel like I need to have a drink to sort of to get me up dancing, or I need to have a drink to get. I'm quite happy to just get up and dance. I don't feel like I need it, and I don't like the taste of alcohol. I don't enjoy it. But
yeah.
Although in saying that, I love cake.
Because you quite like a little slice of cake.
I cake all day, every day. I mean, three course Ryan is what Dan calls me.
Quite like an ice cream as well, as I remember.
Any form of dessert, I am there. No question.
I can't remember. Can you remember where the ice cream was? Do you know what I can picture? By the sea, and it was really windy.
Was it not near that? Isn't that when I'm trying to think. Isn't that where my auntie and uncle came and met us the next day?
Yeah, it could have been. Yes.
Was that in? Must have been like. Oh.
It's a hell of an ice cream. I definitely remember where that was.
Jamie Oliver.
Definitely.
It's got to be.
No, it wasn't in Jamie Oliver. No, it wasn't. Although Jamie Oliver's is now gone, so we can never have a steak dinner.
I think we were the ones that kept that open for as long as we did.
Probably were. No. That was in that cafe, which is round just by the stage door in Scarborough. I'm sure that's where that was.
Yes, you might. Yeah.
I'm sure that's where that was.
I could eat that right now.
I know, it looks amazing. And then I was going to show that, but Matt's back. He keeps disappearing.
Sorry, fellas. Sorry, guys.
I was just showing, because I know that Rebecca doesn't drink particularly. I was just showing pictures of the things that she does like to overindulge in. The cake and I found, as I was going through, I found that picture. Oh,
I love that. I love that. That stuff on the tour.
And look at me with my little jeans and my little.
Look at your little shoes, mate.
My little shoes.
You look like you got about size 5 shoes.
But of course, that in the middle is Charlie Burton. So we were doing Beryl with Maxine Peake's play, and that was Charlie Burton, who I was playing, and of course, so the lovely Sam Power, and that is Beryl's daughter, called Denise. Yes, yeah. Denise is there, and the extended family. So that was lovely. And one of the bikes, those bikes got nicked.
No.
What? They all got nicked. So I was talking. Stop sharing. No, stop that. I was talking to James Brining about, because I said I saw him, and loads of people have done Beryl since then. We were talking to Tom Lorcan a few weeks ago, and he's done Beryl quite recently, and it transferred into London. And I was saying to him, how come it never got a transfer? How it never went anywhere? And he said, well, he said that even if they wanted to do it again, they'd have to redo everything, because all the bikes and everything got nicked out of that church. You know, the church where they used to store stuff. It got broken into, and everything got nicked. Yeah, yeah. Oh, anyway, that's what you indulge in rather than.
Yes,
rather than
food and dessert any day. Yeah.
You've got hollow legs, because I don't know where you put it. I don't know where you put it. Come on then, Matt. How many units last 48 hours?
I had 3/4 of a bottle of red wine last night.
Okay.
As well as a bottle.
Why didn't you finish it off?
I was just sort of wind out, I was just, I don't know. You just sometimes you have enough, don't you? When you've had enough, and I'd had enough by that point.
And so you moved on to what?
To an IPA, a bottle of IPA. But I was done. To be honest with you, mate, last night was particularly sort of. I got overexcited, to be honest, and I woke up this morning. I sort of paid the price for it this morning. So I'm just going back though to just quickly to what Mike was saying about not drinking for so long. I have periods where I don't drink for maybe 3 or 4 months. Like last year, I had sort of 3 or 4 months off it, and your experience of daily life is so different. I mean, your awareness and your focus just becomes massively heightened, and my memory and I mean everything sort of cognitive based is just massively improved by not drinking. But that's just me. I sort of go in waves, The phase is any time I can sort of excuse it or give myself a reasonable excuse, like there's a pandemic, whatever, right? But on a serious note, I do recognise how beneficial it is to knock it on the head, even if it's just for a bit,
Yeah, definitely. Does your good lady drink as well? Because she's very much into her body and mindfulness, isn't she?
She's not drank for nearly 7 years.
Wow,
right. Okay.
That's good.
Teetotal for 7 years, and bearing in mind when we first met each other 15 years ago, a lot of our relationship was based on, going out, getting drunk, and, just not worrying about excess. But I suppose when you're 22 and 24, you've kind of got, your body's kind of got your back at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, and it hasn't when you get older. You have to, It's funny. It is funny, though, because it's strange times, and in all seriousness, I generally don't drink at home. Just never have, really. I might have the odd something, a glass of wine or whatever, but recently, and doing this is not helping, because I'm having it. But I restrict myself to 2 cans, and then I'm not, I drink coffee for fun, not for pleasure. No, I drink it for purpose, not for pleasure. Oh, forget it.
How many of them cans you had?
No, one and a bit. I'm not starting on the rum. I had a rum on Monday night because Lewis Emmerich was on, who I went on tour with the Full Monty with, and after a show we like to have a little tot of rum after the show, and so I had one in his honour. And when I've watched it back and I've done the promo for tonight, I'm slurring my words. I
was gonna say that normally after the show's done, me and Lee stay online and we record the promo for the next one. And he went, I'm slurring my words. We're not doing it. Well, I'll just use the end of the show and just we're like, see you later.
You could laugh, but it's anyway. Look, let's move on. Come on, let's move on. Yeah. We've already done the other one about what you were working on and what you were doing, and so we can skip that. You'd be thanked. We don't have to muddle out. What was it? What was the phrase that you used? Plod. We don't have to plod through that one, do we? And so Rebecca, you first. A moment, something just it could be a wow moment, it could be just a really lovely moment in your career that you remember that was brilliant, or will always stick, and you even if your career ended, which hopefully it won't, but even if it did, you would always think, that bit I absolutely loved that. What would that be?
Well, it's a hard one, really. I mean, I've to be honest, I've been extremely lucky in my career. There's no doubt about that. And I think because I started so young, like I did Shameless when I was 11, and I did that all the way up till I was just turning 18. And I feel like that was an incredible experience. Like, that was absolutely amazing. But I think because I was so young, I probably didn't appreciate it like I would do now if that came along again. For me, it was just like, oh, wow, this is great. Having a great time going in, seeing everyone, and everyone was so lovely to me. And I was like the baby of the family, and everyone looked after me. And I just think that was like it was like a little treat for me just to go in, have a good time, go home. And, I didn't really think about it that much. And now when I look back, and a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of messages now at the moment saying people are rewatching old series and stuff like that, which is really nice. And then when I actually stop and think, I'm like, oh God, like I feel like that kind of whole experience has kind of passed me by a bit, and I've not really obviously I appreciate it, but I've not really sort of took it all in, really. But I mean, all the jobs that I've worked on, I like I say, I've been extremely lucky, and I've worked with some great people, including yourselves. But yeah, I think the main thing for me when working on a job is the people that I meet and the relationships that you form. And it's really weird because you can be so close with people, and you're spending every day with the person, especially if you're on tour or in theatre. It's even more. You spend like day in, day out with that person. You're sharing dressing rooms. You're on stage with them all the time. You're in each other's pockets. And then it's kind of, as soon as that's over, it's kind of like gone. I mean, you still keep in touch every now and again, but it's not like you form these crazy bonds with people that elsewhere, sort of in the normal world, you don't really get to do. So I think that's really kind of exciting. You get to know people on a different sort of level than you would do normally, sort of on a 9-to-5 job. So I think that's the kind of thing. I mean, I know it's a bit general for the question, but that's the kind of thing that I love. I feel like you really get to know people in such a short space of time, and I quite like that.
Do you know, I think, you don't have to apologise for that at all. I think that's really lovely, and I think it's one of the reasons why, I love doing theatre, because of that. Yeah. And I know we share a little bit too much probably in theatre, and you meet somebody, and then in the second day you're sort of telling them your every secret. But there is something really lovely about that, and I think generally, I would agree that I feel like I've been really lucky with the people that I've worked with, because I've never really worked with any. Because you hear these stories, don't you? Yeah, of real knobheads, and you kind of go, have I just been really lucky, or
am I the one?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
There is that. That wasn't what I was going to say, Rebecca. What I was going to say is that the directors that I have worked with just been really good at putting people together. So thanks for that.
I think everybody was thinking.
You're not badly.
No. They do say that. No, you're absolutely right, though, don't they? They do say that if you're in a room full of people and you look around and you don't know who the knobhead is, it's you. I mean, which is fair enough. No, and you're absolutely right. I think that, you know, and not just the bonds, but you sort of make friendships where you don't stay in touch all the time, but then you bump into each other. You know, we bumped into each other in Cardiff. You came along to see the show, and you didn't know I was in it, and then it was like, and then it was, you know, we just got up, and it was great. And that's really lovely, and I'm not sure that happens in every industry. I think you're right. So it's really, brilliant. Go on then, Matt. Follow that.
What was the question again?
A moment, something that you know, if you were to look back on your career, if sadly, you know, everything's shut down now, let's hope it doesn't, and it won't. I'm sure it won't. But
okay, well, it is a moment, and I think because I sort of grew up in my teenage years, my form of rebellion was being in rock bands. So that for me was, I've always had that those roots of music and playing music, and then the acting sort of came along a little bit later, and then that sort of took over. And so when I got to do Once, which is an acting music show that was at the Phoenix Theatre in London, that was a really special job, because just for that reason, really, I felt like the marriage of the two, the acting and the music, came together for me perfectly. And that part, really, as soon as I read the script, and this is not all, as you can all vouch for, this is not always the way. Sometimes you read a script and go, oh God, I'm going to have to work at that. But as soon as I read that script, I can do that, and I know I can do it, and it's mine. I just felt like it was mine to get, basically, without sounding like a twat. But and so when I got it, there was that moment. But also, I think when it really came home, the realization was we did a thing called West End Live in Trafalgar Square in front of like 10,000-15,000 people, and we went out and did like 3 songs from the show. And bearing in mind, I think we'd opened like a week, been up for about a week, but then to receive that level of just to be there, playing that music, playing the folk music that had so much balls and heart and guts and character in front of all these people who were just with us. That to me was the moment that I'll never forget. I remember just my body was shaking with adrenaline, and it was just a buzz. It was just a pure buzz. So I'll never forget that.
Was that the show where you were playing the drums, you were playing all sorts of things, weren't you? Yeah, and it was a band on stage. Is that?
Yeah, so it was so my character was a drummer, a heavy metal drummer, which sort of added a bit of comedy to the story. But apart from that, I played mandolin and guitar as well as. So yeah, it was a proper like sort of like folk with a bit of like rock and roll soul as well. Because at the start of the show, it's the whole stage is set up as a pub, and so the audience are invited on stage.
That's right.
And they can buy a drink from the bar while we have a jam. And because the story is about an Irish busker and a Czech immigrant, those two cultures fused, and so the music represented that. And some of those Czech folk songs, because I've always been familiar with the Irish stuff, but some of those Czech folk songs were just, it was just incredible. Just, great experience.
Fantastic. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. We've see, this is always happens. It's now 9:10, and time is cracking on. So I'm going to combine 2 questions, and you can be as brief or as lengthy as you like with this. But the 2 questions are, because there's a lot being said about people graduating at the moment. They can't have their showcases and all the rest of it, and whatever. And I went to drama school. Matt, you did a conventional-ish route into the industry. Rebecca, you went in, as you just said, from working at a young age. And I guess there's 2 points to the question. The first one is, what do you think or hope that the industry will be when we eventually come out with this, what it might look like? And the second part of that is, what advice, if you were coming into it at that point, what advice would you give to yourself more than anything else?
Yeah.
Matt, go for it.
Cool, yeah. I think there are a few practical things that are going to change, possibly for the better, in terms of like how we audition. I think this sort of setup will be more common, potentially. But I'm very optimistic. I'm always optimistic about the acting profession. Because like we say, we meet a lot of good people who have a lot of the right energy. Do you know what I mean? And especially when this is over and when we can finally get back to it, there's going to be such a thirst for theatre, for television, for all of that. I can't help but feel it'll be like just a release for everyone. And I know that our industry has the individuals to be able to take that challenge on and to run with it and to collaborate. And I think people will be a lot more appreciative of what we do have as an industry when we actually come back to it. So I'm very optimistic. What I would say to anyone who was graduating now, who can't graduate, or is that it's the cliche, isn't it? Is that it's a marathon and not a sprint. When I look back to what I was like when I graduated drama school, I honestly unrecognizable to the person I am today, as far as my experience of what I thought, the industry was. I have learned the most stuff about what it takes to be a functioning working actor by getting out there and working. But that's taken years and years and years. I mean, for the first 5 years of acting, it was particularly a grind for me, not knowing what was coming and having to just build on that. And so it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And if you love it, or if you don't love it, if you just really enjoy it, know that that's enough, and just keep on trucking, because it's like, you're not gonna. I always thought that when I left drama school, RSC, TV, so I had this like inflated image of what my career would be instantly, and it wasn't like that. And so you can't beat experience, and life will give you that experience, but there is a bit of patience required at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Something has just occurred to me. Matt, were you on Shameless? Did you do Shameless? Oh, you didn't do Shameless. I was just thinking that I remember when we did Beryl that we all shared something in common, but it wasn't Shameless. But
I did Waterloo Road. I did a scene with you, didn't I, mate? In Waterloo Road. Yeah, back when I had hair. Yeah.
What were you playing? Some sort of sex pest or?
Nearly, right? A school counsellor.
School counsellor, brilliant.
Yeah.
Had you forgotten about that, Rebecca? Or did you just have a little moment then?
No, because I can picture it. I can picture it in my and we were in the classroom. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Excellent. So, Rebecca, over to you.
I'm hoping that once this is all over, it's going to sort of be a nice big reset on the industry. I think exactly what Matt was saying, really. I think everyone's going to be really hungry and thirsty to get back out there, and hopefully there'll be, I know a lot of things that would normally be filming have stopped now, obviously, with everything's going on. So I think that everyone's going to be really sort of, hungry to get back out there, to get things on, to get new things out there, because obviously there'll be a lot of repeats and there'll be a lot of things that are not being made, so there's nothing to put out there. So I think I'm hoping anyway, that there'll be a good surge of new things coming up. So I'm hoping it's going to be an exciting time for actors and everyone in the industry, really. Yeah, I mean, I as you said before, I didn't go through the acting school route. I love acting. I kind of fell into it. Really, I mean, my two brothers, my older and younger brother, are both actors, both brilliant actors, and they both went to drama school, and sort of learnt the craft and did it that way. And I think I don't know why, and it was something that I was never really interested in doing. And I think because Charlie, my older brother, he basically, how it all started, he got a part in a drama called State of Play that was on the BBC, and they were casting for a little sister for him, and his agent said, "Oh, they've not cast a little sister for you. That they're still looking." And he kind of said, "Well, I've got a little sister who acts. I hadn't really done anything before." And they said, "Okay, well, we'll audition you together and see how you are." So they came up, auditioned, and I got the part from that. So we played brother and sister in that. And then Paul Abbott, who was the writer of that, also wrote Shameless. And he sort of said, "Oh, I'm writing a new thing. I'd like you to come and audition for it." And sort of that's how I got into acting, and then just absolutely loved it. And I wouldn't be doing anything else now. I don't know if I hadn't got into it that way, if I would have stuck to that path. Okay. But now I couldn't think now of doing anything else. Now that I'm in it, I know with my two brothers, that's all they wanted to do from day one. And they did everything in their power to make that happen and to go through the channels to make that happen. Whereas I was very lucky enough, and I think as well because I was so young, also not really realizing, thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll do that, yeah, why not?" So I never really got the chance, like even at school, because I was filming. I thought, well, I'll kind of just study drama and because that's what I'm doing anyway. I'm already sort of in the career, and I absolutely love what I do. So I never really sort of put my mind to focus on anything else because I was already kind of doing it. That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Were you, so when you did drama at school, like GCSE or A level or whatever it was you were doing? What were those moments when you were sort of watching your tutor and sort of going, "Bullshit, that's not what it's like at all"?
No, not really. I mean, in school, the 5 years at school, I worked out that I was in probably about 2.5 years because of the time I had off. Yeah. But no, I kind of felt the opposite when I was in drama school. When I was in school in the drama lessons, I always felt a bit conscious because I never ever really wanted people to sort of say, probably this was in my own head, but people to say, "Oh, she thinks she's great and she knows it all." And it wasn't really, and so I just kind of sat back and just did. I wasn't really very forward in any of the lessons or anything like that. I kind of just sat back and did. And
so did you disappoint your drama teachers?
I mean, possibly.
I'm asking, did you get good marks? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I got good marks on the practical side. I was a bit lazy, see, with the writing side of it, but I did it.
Okay, a piece of advice. What bit of advice you would give?
Just keep going, because if this is what you want to do, there is going to be times. No matter how well you do, no matter how well your career is going, there will be times where you've got a long period of time or longer than you would like out of work, and there is nothing you can do about it. And I would just say, I would with a pinch of salt, because everyone has their own opinion on everyone, and don't get sucked in. I think people can get sucked into that too much and sort of rely on other people's opinions of things a bit too much. And you've just got to be confident in your own ability, confident in yourself, and it will pay off, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that's really, really good advice. It goes back to what we were saying before, doesn't it? That I think that's perhaps one of the reasons that I like to stand behind a director, because I sort of know if the director's happy with me, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it, because if it's shit, it's not my fault, it's the director's. No, it's good advice.
Yeah, you can't help what other people think. Everyone's going to have an opinion, and one person will look at whatever you're doing and go, it's the best thing I've ever seen, I thought it was amazing, and the person next to him could go, actually, it was my cup of tea and I thought it wasn't very good. And you just, you're always going to have that no matter what. So you just have to be confident in what you're doing and just keep going.
It never it's really, absolutely, and it's really, really good advice. It never ceases to amaze me, especially in theatre, the type of things that people notice. So when we did, I know you came to see it, Matt, just before you started at Oldham. So we did 4 minutes 12 seconds, and one of the first sort of little mini reviews on Twitter, which was just somebody that had come to see it. The thing that they pointed out, they loved it, they said, but the thing that they pointed out was that Joe wasn't folding the towels properly.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable, man. Hey, can I just say, by the way, that was such a good show, man. It was basically like, if you can imagine like a theatrical Black Mirror, it was like an episode of Black Mirror on stage. Genuinely thought-provoking. Yeah. Genuinely thought-provoking. I think that's very rare with theatre these days.
And what's really interesting about it, if someone's to ask me what, and again, it's really difficult when somebody say what's your highlight, but to play a part like that, but me in my career, who knows? But me in my career, as it's gone, I may never play another part like that. That was such a great part to play because of the whole Black Mirror thing. And actually, the writer James Fritz came to see it, and I said that to him. I said it's very sort of Black Mirror, and he said, "Yeah, no, lots of people have said that. Lots of people have said that." But yeah, really thought provoking, and I'm absolutely astounded that it hasn't been done more. I think it was at the Royal Court in 2015, and this is the first professional production done outside of that, which is, or that was astounding. Great play.
Yeah,
good. Anyway, look, it's 9:25. This has turned into the longest episode we've done, Mike, and it's your fault.
Why is it my fault?
I don't know. Just blaming you, aren't I? Look, guys, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me while I drink 2 pints of Guinness. It's so lovely to see you both. I hope to see you again really, really soon. Stay well. In many respects, Matt, I hope you have had it, because it means you're not going to get it again. Fingers crossed. And you just stay safe, Rebecca. I don't want you to get it at all. Just
oh no, thank you.
Stay wrapped up and tight, and just eat lots of cake.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've got the cake sorted.
So Mike, let's say goodbye to them too. Let's wrap up, and then we can end this call and go to bed. Thanks, guys. Good night. God bless. Feel free to log off if you want to. Feel free to stay if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you.
I need a wee, so I'm going to log off.
Much love to both of you. See you later.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.
See you guys. Nice one.
Bye.
Well,
How good was that?
Very good. Really.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's staying with us. He's
still on.
Yeah, Mike's still on. He's gone. Yeah, really good. Great. Loved it.
I've switched the cameras around now, so we've both got as correct Twitter names on as well now.
Well done. Yes, it makes me feel all warm inside seeing them again. They're so
lovely. And, I mean, just they're both great, aren't they? I mean, we've been really lucky so far. We've had nothing but really lovely people on, and yeah, it's a really good episode. If you're gonna watch any of them, watch this one.
And Mondays.
And Mondays and last Wednesdays. And... watch them all. They're all really good.
Just watch them all. Yeah. They're all great. Okay, yeah, fantastic. So next week, let's talk about Monday first, because if I'm really clever about this, we don't have to do a promo. We can do it. I can splice it out of this. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
So Monday, we're back again, aren't we? 8:00 live, because that's what we said we're going to do. So we might as well carry on doing it. And we have actor, director, writer Rhys Dinsdale coming on. Very excited about that, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, the guy's got a CV as long as my arm. He's been in some cracking stuff. So
I think it's longer than your arm.
It probably is.
Yeah.
It's probably the longest CV of anybody we've had on.
Yeah. And joining him, because we were going to have a music special, but we sort of split that up slightly because Rhys has kindly agreed to come on with us. And joining him is Mitch Thomas. That's wrong. Joining him is Mitch Thompson, who is my guitar teacher, but also he's played at Glastonbury. This guy has been in band after band after band. Him and Mike are going to hit it off. I'm sure they are. Doing lots of stuff at the moment. Writing music. I don't know. He's doing loads of stuff that are on Twitter, which we'll talk about, along with Rhys. Then on Wednesday, who do we have on Wednesday? We have Kelly Condren.
Yes.
And we have Becca Lindley coming on.
More music with Becca as well.
More music with Becca, actor, musician, singer. She's got a fantastic voice.
She posted something on Instagram and it was great. Sorry, we're doing the link, aren't we? Yeah.
We were supposed to be, but I'll chop it up anyway. I won't worry about it.
You always chop me out anyway. He's gone. He's pinged off. Brilliant. So that just leaves me. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, this has been a really great episode. I really enjoyed that. Most of the people we get on this... he's back. I've just...
Oh! I thought you'd gone.
No,
that's gone. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, that's fine.
I was just saying...
good, okay.
I was just saying, most of the people we've had on so far are from Lee's Little Black Book. So I don't know half the people. I've never met them before. Obviously, I know people who have been on TV, like Lewis and Rebecca and, those kind of people. So I'm always kind of like, I've got nothing in common. So I don't really have that common ground to discuss stuff. But it's been lovely to spend the last kind of 3-4 weeks getting to know these people. And it's been great. I just needed to finish that thought because I'd started it.
No, it's a good thought. It's great. And quite frankly, like I said the other day, I'm running out of people I know. So
I've started being a little bit more confident in the people I'm asking and approaching. Maybe
cheeky as you like.
Maybe a little bit too much. Because I've sent. So there's one person who I'm not going to mention. Who is interested. I just need to finalise stuff. Somebody else.
Got to seal the deal.
Yeah, I need to see the deal. And that person, I nearly gave away gender. Then I'm not going to do that. Because then you'll have half the planet to guess who it is. Then instead of the entire planet. And this person is somebody who, again, did something a while ago, and I really liked it, and I thought they'd be really interesting as a guest because they've done quite a lot of different stuff, high profile and kind of indie stuff. So, but then the other person I've asked has left the message on seen on Instagram. So they've seen it, they've read it, they've just not responded yet. We shall see.
Well, that's not a bad thing. No news is good news.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to start getting cheeky as well. Why not?
Yeah.
But do you know what? We've still got at least another 10 episodes. At least.
I mean, we've got half the cast of the Full Monty, half the cast of Beryl, or the other half of the cast of Beryl to do.
Yeah.
And then everything.
And I haven't even started on the TV projects that I've done. So we'll just keep going.
Yeah. I want to say we need. We'll talk off air about that.
Okay. So yes. So join us on Monday. We'll be back live 8:00 as normal. We'll try and wrap it up with at least an hour and a half, which is what we've sort of done this time. And we've got actor, director, writer Rhys Dinsdale coming on. We've also got musician Mitch Thompson. So I'm very excited about that. He teaches me guitar. I'm not getting my guitar out at that point because he'll be disappointed, you'll be disappointed, and I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. Although now that seed's planted in my head, I'm going to get him to watch one of your scales and see how good it is.
I'm not doing that. I only know 2. I'm not very good at them. Good. So that's next Monday. Next Wednesday, we're joined by Becca Ledley, actor, musician, and Kelly Condren, who you'll know probably best known for her work in Hollyoaks.
Yeah, Morgan.
What? Sorry,
Zara Morgan. That was her character.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
She was old school. Not old school because Hollyoaks is a relatively new show, but kind of original OG cast.
Now, am I right in saying that one of her boyfriends later on was a photographer who went to our school?
I don't know.
Was that Dan Pope? Wasn't he?
God.
Not?
Yeah. He was. He's been in Coronation Street and all sorts. Yeah, I remember Dan.
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to now, but I remember his long, blonde, flowing locks.
I think he
was always a very tall, good-looking fella.
He did. His sixth form A-level drama practical was a Stephen Burkoff monologue, and I think it was East. And I liked it so much, I did it in my first year at university and got a first for it. So thanks, Dan. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Whatever you're up to at the moment. Good. So that's next week. Very excited about that. Anything else before we finish off?
Yeah, I want to show something.
Okay.
So I have this.
All right. That's a little camera, presumably. Yeah.
I'm going to bring it in. Look, you can see it there. Hello. Just show the guitars on my wall because yours get shown every week, and I wanted to show.
What do you mean mine? I've only got one. It does work though.
Yeah. So there's all mine. And the artwork I keep mentioning that I wanted to show off. So there's some Chris Bircham comic book art up there. There's the guy who did Cheryl's tattoo in the middle there. He's done a portrait. I forgot his name. Yeah. So there you go. I just wanted to show that.
Very good. Well, thanks for showing that. Very much impressed. Shall we finish off? Shall we say good night?
So, thank you very much for watching another episode of the Ghostlight Social. I know we've rambled on a little bit at the end and you've probably all logged off. No, there's 4 of you still watching. Well done for that. As we said, join us Monday, join us Wednesday, live on YouTube at 8:00, where we're going to be talking creatively to creative people for an hour and a half to help wind you down after a hard day of quarantine. Thanks very much, everybody. I'm going to remember to do the end credits this week. Adios from the bunker.